It was the end of my sophomore year in high school, and my mom got in this big fight and everything, and so she told me I needed to find a place to stay that night. So I called Hearts of the Mission and they said there was a bed open. And I walked down here a couple miles and they took me in.
When I came here, I first thought of it as a punishment. I was really scared, and on the way here, the officer was talking to me and he was just like, I'm really happy that we found you. Sometimes we don't find runaways, or we find them in ways and conditions that we don't like seeing.
Without going into great detail, before Hearts of the Mission, our life was just a mess. I can't even explain, how bad it was. And, a lot of it was my fault. My dad, he didn't know how to talk to me. And, whenever I did something bad before, he just yelled at me and that was it. It usually left with me storming out of the house.
You're at Hearts with the Mission because there's something going on in your life that sucks. The emotional abuse I went through, it didn't stop when I was adopted. I'm here 10 years later. Sexual abuse, that was probably the hardest thing to get through because for the longest time I didn't tell anyone. Now I don't feel pretty when I look in the mirror. He took advantage of me. Why do I care? He didn't, so why should I?
Before Hearts with a Mission existed, our answer to kids that were seeking help was handing them sleeping bags. And they're worth investing in. The pain, the suffering, the abuse that goes on inside of these kids' lives, that's why we do what we do. That's why I get to be a voice that stands up in front of people and says, we need your help. Because I believe that much. It's going to make our community that much stronger as a whole if we invest in our youth, because really they are our future.
Every kid kind of has their own story, their own background, and their own reasons what brings them in. Sometimes parents aren't interested in raising their kids anymore. They'll kind of drop them off and be done with them. They just don't want them anymore. So, parents that are truly homeless and they literally are living out of their van, and their kids are better off here because there's showers and hot meals. There's kids who are unsafe at their homes. One girl is very uncomfortable being at home because she was sexually molested by her stepdad. And so there's just a lot of different issues that bring in kids here. But the best part is they can all come in here and be accepted and loved for whatever their background is, and just to be welcomed and taken care of.
I have a lot of people ask me, what does it mean that you're a faith-based organization? And really, it's why I do what I do. It's the inspiration. An old 17th century preacher said that to be able to do something for somebody else that has absolutely no way of repaying you, well, that's why we were created, and that's why we do what we do.
At first, I wasn't very respectful towards anybody or any of the staff. It wasn't until about a month later that we were on a trip to the lake and I got into a little bit of trouble, and me and Kevin had a talk, and I pretty much realized that everyone here was here to help me and here to support me.
The bottom line is, we're going to keep kids here for as long as it takes, for them to exit into a safe, secure environment, and hopefully that's to reunify them back to their own family. Kids belong in families. I'm the last person to say that, kids belong in a shelter. And that's why we try to create a family-like environment when kids come here, by having chores, by, caring enough to say that we want you to go to school, we want you to further your education. And it's important enough to us that we're gonna, check up on what we're inspecting.
Everybody who's here, who works here, they don't work here because of the paycheck or the job. It's a connection, and they genuinely care about you. You can really get that when you're here. And that was the best thing, because all the stuff I did, which I don't like talking about, it's terrible things, they didn't look at that. They just looked at how they can help me become a better person.
After I left Hearts of the Mission, I was determined to make this school year the best year ever. So it was my first year at Crater, and I right away ran for class president. And I didn't think that I would win because I was a new student and everything, but everyone liked my ideas, new ideas, because I came from another school. So I was elected class president my first year in high school. So that was a really big step for me and everything. So now me and my mom are have a better relationship and more reunified and everything. So
Back before Hearts with a Mission was open, a kid basically had no place to turn. And what we are telling kids now is that their life matters, you know, and that this is a place where you can come and you can be safe, and that you'll have caring adults that are going to walk through the process with you. And even sometimes if it's just a matter of saying, we don't know what the future has, but we can give you hope for today. And that's what we're really proud over, the fact that Hearts with a Mission's here.
Hearts with a Mission, I kind of view it as like a Switzerland. Like it's in between, and they don't take sides. You know, they don't just always side on the parent side, and they don't side on the youth side. You know, they look at both situations, and they'll give you all the resources you need. You know, they have counseling with parents. You know, they work closely with, you know, On Track, all these different programs in the community, and they open the door to you. You know, because I know with my personal experience and, you know, a lot of the other youths, they didn't know where to start. You know, you look at this picture and it's like, it's so overwhelming. And this place is a great place because they'll sit you down and they'll walk you through everything that you need to do. And they don't just side with your parents like, you know, they're right, you're wrong. It's a two-way street. You know, they work on both sides. You know, they do counseling with your parents, you know, alone, with you alone. And they're really just the best mediator I ever had. They're a third party. They're not biased towards any side at all.
So when kids are looking to move back home, reunification, I'll pull in their parents or whatever guardian they have and do family therapy with them.
My dad's really thankful for all the stuff that Hearts with a Mission did. From all the talks with Ryan, you know, Ryan really explained to him how, you know, he needs to kind of not just talk negative to me. You know, he needs to point out the good things I'm doing, because that's, you know, the type of person I am. That's why I like, you know, coming down here and, you know, speaking things, because I just like to give back to Hearts with a Mission because they've helped me so much.
Well, I think you can see from the dollars that you're investing that you're not just investing in an organization. You're actually investing in the lives of kids. I would like to say that we could do it for free, but we can't. It's about $35,000 a month just to keep our doors open and just to pay our staff, you know, a pittance for what they're really worth. But the bottom line is it takes people that are willing to help us out in that area as well. You know, Hearts with a Mission is a lot bigger than just one person's idea. You know, but when a community does come together, out of it you can see what Hearts with a Mission can do.
I got here, and it's a home with a family of people not in the same situation, but in the same situation, you know? And I got that feeling of just pure love, like more love than I've ever felt in my life.
Hearts with a Mission was a big impact on my life, and I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for me.
I felt like they loved me more than my own family did at one point, you know, but it was because, you know, I was upset, and I was just like, you know, they don't care about me. And as I was here, I just grew to accomplish a lot. And now I can say that I graduated high school, I have a job, I'm 18, I'm alive, so they had a major impact on that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep, I love this place, so.